Good morning and welcome back to Dublin. We are here for the 2018 World Paraswimming Allianz European Championships. We're in the Sport Ireland National Aquatic Centre in one of the suburbs of Dublin. We've seen some great action over the first 4 days of competition. We're on to day 5 now. My name's Paul Noble and I'm joined as always by Liz Johnson. Morning, Liz.
Morning.
Back for another day of action.
Yep, excited. A bit more spread out today. Not for a breaststroke day, a backstroke day. There's a sprinkle of events today, but just as exciting action in prospect.
Well, number of nationalities here watching on. It was a real spread of medals last night that we saw. Gold medals shared about all over the place. And I'll expect more countries to be involved in these heats this morning, trying to make their way into the finals this evening. Ukraine had a very good night last night and they're well represented. Still waiting for the first home medal, but Ireland have got a couple of good chances today. There's the Irish flags right opposite us as we look, and the Irish, whenever the Irish come into the arena for their races, really great reception that they get, these Irish athletes.
Yeah, and they're swimming really well. They've just been unfortunate. They've got a number of fourth place finishes, obviously just missing out on the podium, but hopefully, for the sake of the home crowd, today might be that day they make the step up onto the podium. Well,
let's hope so. Be some Irish swimmers that we'll look for this morning. We start off with the 200 metres individual medley for the SM11 class. Swimmers who are completely blind, so that's always an interesting one. 200 freestyle for the S4s, and then we go on to the sprint events, the 50 freestyles and the backstrokes as well. Couple of 100 freestyles, then distance events, the longest distance that swimmers swim in the pool in the Paralympic Games and the Paraswimming programme, 400 metres. And we finish off the morning with a couple more sprints and some individual medley swims as well. Individual medley's always interesting, Liz.
Yeah, different athletes have different strengths and different strokes, and so the lead can change hands a number of times.
Yeah, especially the likes of the S9 class, where we see swimmers with different types of impairment all in that class as well. So each swimmer's swimming to their strengths there. It's just very interesting as we go through. We start off with an individual medley race though, and that's the men's 200 metres individual medley for SM11 class. And we've seen the medals shared about. Some of the youngsters coming through in this S11 class. Israel Oliver will be the favourite for the first heat. The Spanish swimmer goes in lane 4. We saw the young Portuguese swimmer Marco Meneses last night take his country's second medal here in Dublin, so Marco Meneses one to watch, and here he comes out leading them through 4 lengths of the pool. And we've seen some young swimmers. The swimmer there right at the back in the yellow tracksuit of Ukraine, Alexander Akutov, 15 years of age. 17-year-old Meneses going in lane number 2. Right at the opposite end of the scale, Miroslav Šmerka from the Czech Republic, 54 years of age.
Yeah, full range of experience and youth here, and that's what makes it even more exciting because, again, being a 200 individual medley, anything's possible.
Well, there's Federico Bassani from Italy, there's Šmerka. And who's a World Championship medalist last year, Bassani. Just missed out on the medals a couple of days ago in the 400 free, so he'll be looking to make amends here in 200 IM. Very important for these swimmers. There's the blacked out goggles. The swimmers, no vision at all. Very important they get the orientation right off the starting blocks. Israel Oliver, those pink trunks there right in the centre of the pool. He's the most experienced man in this field. He's the Paralympic gold medalist from Spain, and he leads them in the early stages. Looks comfortable so far. And again, when you just look at these swimmers, it's hard to believe they can see absolutely nothing at all, doing it all on field.
Yeah, and Israel Oliver is a great example of an athlete who, like you said, Paul, going out there well, down that fly leg. He is the Paralympic champion, also in 100 metres butterfly. But he's a great example of an athlete who, if you didn't know he couldn't see, he conducts himself so well, and his attention to detail is so that he's exquisite in his, the way that he does everything, not just in the pool, but when you see him on land as well. He's so comfortable with who he is. His orientation is generally amazing. I don't want to say that now and then him bounce off the lane rope, but here we see him now comfortably going down this backstroke. Obviously these athletes, they don't have that ability, as all other categories do, all other swimmers do, to pace themselves against the rest of the field. They are essentially swimming a time trial every time they race.
Well, Oliver leads Smirka into the halfway point of this 200 metres individual medley. Oliver, a very experienced campaigner, 4 times a Paralympian, 4 Paralympic Games he has been to, and stretching away from the field. He'll have a good idea of what he needs to do. He'll know the entry times and he'll know the quality of his opposition. He'll have a good idea that he doesn't really have to go flat out. He's never quite sure what the others are doing, but Oliver is trying to make sure of that place in the final this evening. He's doing a good job so far. It's a big lead over Smirka as he goes over on that final 50.
These athletes will have great internal pace clocks, because so often, as we say, they are swimming by themselves. So he will have a great idea of how it feels, and he will have checked out the field. He will have got his assistant to tell him what the rest of the spread of the field is. So he'll know the sort of time that he needs to do. And right now, he's coming into the final 50 metres clear of the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good time there for Israel Oliver. His entry time is 2:33. It's going to be inside that, so a good start there for Israel Oliver this morning. 2:29.14, so very good. He has been a little bit faster. He is the European record holder, 2:24. Still within his capabilities here, but a good start for the Spanish swimmer, Miroslav Smirka. 2:43 for the Czech Republic, so that's faster than his entry time. He went out fast, the Czech swimmer. Looks like it is going to be Bassani in 3rd place, the Italian, just under the 3-minute mark. And Artukov from Ukraine, just ahead of Meneses. Right from the start, Israel Oliver not really leaving anything to chance.
When you give yourself the opportunity, then, if you do get up and out there, even though these athletes can't see their opposition, they'll know that once they're up and out and strong, then they can ease off the second half of the race, because he will know, Oliver, he got touched out earlier in the week by not a lot at all from Viktor Smirnov in that 100 breaststroke, so he'll know that he's got a race on his hands this evening.
Yeah, Viktor Smirnov has had a very good week so far. He's in the next heat. Results of that first heat, though, Israel Oliver from Spain takes it. Miroslav Smirka from the Czech Republic in 2nd. Federico Bassani in 3rd place from Italy. And those swimmers should make their way into the final. There's only 5 in the 2nd heat, so the top 3 guaranteed a place in that final. Next heat sees Grigory Sudzalav from Belarus in the middle, but next to him, man who's having a great event here in Dublin, Viktor Smirnov from Ukraine. Viktor Smirnov having one of his best competitions ever, just picking up lots of medals this week, having a great event here in Dublin.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you just get those competitions where everything comes together, and if you're a multi-eventer, there's no better feeling than just, he's been on the right edge of those touches, those close races that maybe in the past have gone against him. Today, at this week rather, everything has just happened for him.
And he had one of those events back in Athens in 2004. He won 5 gold medals. And it was a really competitive field in Athens. Close finishes, but every time Viktor Smirnov seemed to be on the right side of it.
Yeah, and there's his young compatriot, Mikhailo Serbin, that we've been also very impressed with, the teenager. He's put in some impressive heat performances, impressive final performances, and he is learning from the master, Viktor Smirnov.
Yeah, the 3 Ukrainian swimmers in this SM11 event. We saw in the first heat. Took a 15-year-old. We've got the 14-year-old Mikhail Serbin, and if you add those two ages together, they don't come to the age of 32-year-old Viktor Smirnov. So very much a role model for these young Ukrainians. Viktor Smirnov there, second from the top. There's light blue trunks in the middle. Grigory Sudzilab, gold medal from last year's World Championships. Belarus swimmer. Also a very good freestyler. He won the 50 freestyle earlier this week, just ahead of Viktor Smirnov. Smirnov and Sudzilab, they're going out very strongly in the front of the field.
Yeah, and here we see them sharing the same lane rope for direction and arm butterfly. That can prove difficult because if your recovery rate is the same as the athlete in the lane next to you, then you could risk getting tangled up in your arms.
And you saw the tappers there. We were talking about tapping sticks yesterday, Liz, and the different lengths of the tapping sticks. Some of them are kind of really flexible, aren't they? It's almost like a fishing rod.
Yeah, and that's something in this sport that's evolved over the years. There was a time where everybody had the same length sticks, but there we see again, just from that overhead shot, the importance of the directional skills for these athletes. Sudzilab there, losing all of his speed as he crashed into the wall and having to redirect himself, reorientate himself, and that is one of the biggest challenges for these S11 swimmers. But as we see at this end, a lot of the sticks are very similar. The tap-in sticks, it's a preference for the athlete. We checked with the referees if there was anything that needed to be a requirement, and ultimately they just have to pass a health and safety check.
Make sure there's nothing sharp on the end of those tap-in sticks. And yeah, I mean, I suppose the further out you get tapped, the more kind of danger that your stroke count is just a little bit off and you make a mess of the turn there. The closer you tap, maybe you used to see in the past there was a tap and then one stroke and the swimmer goes over. But now it seems to be the taps a little bit further out, and Smirnov just pulling back slightly there on Sudzilab, but we know Sudzilab a very strong freestyler.
Yeah, and there we saw on that underwater turn, the Sudzilab, he glided into the wall, realised he wasn't there and put in a little tiny breaststroke stroke. So he knows his stroke count, he was relying on his stroke count there, and this is what these athletes in the M11 category have to do.
Sudzilab looking pretty good here, just skirting that lane rope. We saw him thump the lane rope on the backstroke. No such difficulties here on the freestyle. The tap just on the backside of Sudzilab there as he came into the finish. Viktor Smirnov, small of the back, 8 seconds behind. Sudzilab takes that one. Smirnov in second. Third place is the young Serbin, the 14-year-old. And looks like Johannes Weinberg from Germany will come up there into fourth position. Looks like Weinberg just about make it into that final. We'll just have to wait for the confirmed results. I think all the swimmers under the 3-minute mark should make it.
And there we see from that underwater shot that bruise on Sudzilab's left arm from where he got himself caught on that lane rope on that backstroke leg, but recovered well to take the victory in that heat.
Yeah, the lane rope's pretty unforgiving here. These anti-wave lane rope's pretty solid. Sudzilab recovered though. He takes that second heat, 2:34. Viktor Smirnov in second, Mikhail Serbin in third, and possibly all of these swimmers will make it to the final. We'll have to wait for the confirmed result, of course. By my rough calculations, they should all make it through. Well, the men's 200 freestyle S4 is the next event up. A number of straight finals tonight, Liz. We have the individual medley, 100 butterfly, the S10s all going to straight finals. But we do have heats for the men's 200 freestyle S4. Darko Duric, the winner of the gold medal in the 50 freestyle, a dead heat with Petracek of the Czech Republic. He goes in lane number 4.
Here we see the swimmers for this heat being led out by the experienced David Smetanine of France and Darko Duric of Slovakia. Do you think he'd want his own gold medal this time round, Paul?
Well, he does get one. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to share it. Maybe we should change our phraseology there. We shared the gold medal position, but they do get one each, don't they?
Sure, no, after 6 months they have to post it.
That's right. There's Darko Duric. He'll be on top of the world today. Great swim in the 50 freestyle. Be confident about this one. The world champion back in 2013 is David Smetanine. Those two know each other well. Competed against each other for many years. David Smetanine again on the medal podium again at these European Championships. Here's Dmytro Vinohradets from Ukraine. He's moved into this S4 class. He was in the S3 class, now swimming as an S4. Still managed to get on the medal podium last night. Great competitor, the Ukrainian. And his country mate, Pavlo Niazadov, goes in lane number 6. So 2 Ukrainians at the top. The starts there, very different for all the swimmers.
Yes, and we've said earlier in the meet how David Smetanine seems to have developed that start so that his legs are not causing any resistance, and we thought that he was the only person employing that technique, but there we saw Mazadov of the Ukrainian lane 6 also using the same technique, but Smetanine the pioneer for that starting approach.
Yeah, we've said this week that these type of techniques are always pioneered by someone. People come to these major championships and the World Series events and see other swimmers with very similar impairments doing these innovative techniques, and quite often we see everyone copying them.
Yeah, and it has really helped with the evolution of the sport, because sometimes you'll get athletes that will view a certain technique, try it, and it works for them, and then the whole event moves on, and other times you'll try something and it just doesn't work for you as an individual, and you can that idea and you go back to the drawing board.
Back to square one. Well, Darko Duric and David Smetanine, very different impairments from these two campaigners. David Smetanine with nothing from below his waist. He's paraplegic. Darko Duric, triple amputee, only got that one big arm. Very powerful big arm there. And they're coming to the halfway point with Duric and Smetanine. Very well matched there in 3 and 4.
Yes, and it's a great example again of how the classification system plays out, because at the moment Darko Duric in that lead with that powerful stroke from his right full arm, and we see he gets a slight push off the wall, but David Smetanine has the ability for a lower power output but a more continuous stroke, and Darko Duric will start to get more pain in that arm, his muscles working hard, nowhere for the lactic acid to go. But here he's got a good lead at the moment. David Smetanine, he's an experienced campaigner. He'll know what he has to do to make it into this final tonight.
Doesn't mind being in an outside lane. David Smetanine, we've seen him win medals from all over the pool. Some swimmers try and be right in the mix of things in the centre lanes. David Smetanine doesn't mind. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what he's capable of, and he'll swim his own race wherever he is in the pool, and it's up to the others to finish ahead of him.
Yeah, and David Smetanine, he's 43 years old now, so, and he'll say himself he needs to conserve a bit more energy than he used to in those heats to give himself the best chance in the finals. But Darko Duric here having a great European Championships and looking strong this morning.
Darko Duric is top of the European rankings this year. Back in April, this one's time of 3:07.63, so slightly slower than that, but still decent enough swim there for Darko Duric. 3:13, David Smetanine coming in now. It's 5.5 seconds behind him. 3:18.64 for Smetanine, and Vinohradets in 3:21. So Darko Duric is pretty good for the Slovenian. those three will make it to the final this evening. 5 swimmers only in the second heat, so as you can understand, Leslie, didn't have to bust the gut to get into that final this evening. It looked pretty relaxed there. Darko Duric, great exponent of that freestyle, just using that one arm, but manages to keep himself really flat in the water.
Yeah, and we see even though he doesn't have an arm on that left side, he does use the shoulder rotation to keep himself balanced.
Our final swimmer, Miasadov, still coming with around about 10 meters to go. So Pablo Miasadov had an entry time of 4:28, so some way behind the leading 3 swimmers in this field. Miasadov, just have a check on the clock, 4:31, so a couple of seconds outside his time. Darko Duric takes that first heat ahead of David Smetinin and Dimitro Vinoradets. So those 3 swimmers will make it to the final. Looks like the result is confirmed. And the next heat, we see 5 swimmers for that second heat, including the young Israeli swimmer who has been a sensation here this week, Ami Omer Dadon.
Yes, we saw Dadon go well in the 100 meters freestyle. So let's winning that event. So let's see what he's got this morning.
Michael Schoenmaker from the Netherlands is in the fastest lane for this second heat. Coming out with that recognisable orange tracksuit for the Netherlands team. Always easy to spot the Netherlands fans in the stand.
Yes.
And the Germans have got orange tracksuits as well. Oh.
Well, Hamit Demir having a little dance before he gets in. Scott Quinn did the same. It worked for him in his 100 breaststroke, so maybe it's a trend that's catching on.
There's Michael Schoenmaker. Maybe one of the favourites, Kaczynski of Ukraine. He will go in lane number 3. And Dadon will enter from the side. That's Tomi Brajda from Croatia. He goes in lane number 6. Well, second heat of this 200 freestyle. Swimmers will be aware of what they have to do. You would think 4 swimmers here would be pretty clear in qualification. Just looking at the entry times. And Schoenmaker starting in the water. Hamit Demir from Turkey. I think he'll have a chance here. He'll have to go slightly faster than his entry time to make that final. It'll be good to see Turkish swimmer in that final. Keep an eye on his time, the swimmer in lane 2, but the 4 swimmers above him should be comfortable qualification for them.
Yeah, and again we saw the 2 athletes at either end of this heat starting from the block due to their impairments, getting off the block and getting themselves up. And now we see actually Hamit Demir, even though he started by diving in, he's actually swimming on his back.
Top 3 swimmers here in the centre, going out pretty fast there. Omer Dadon in the white cap, Michael Schoenmaker in the black cap of the Netherlands, Andrej Derabinski 1 line down from them. Right at the top, Tomi Brajda from Croatia. Schoenmaker first to the wall. So Schoenmaker and Dadon have a real tussle in the 100. The Israeli coming through very strongly in the closing stages.
Yeah, the 17-year-old Israeli swimmer we've seen already in his previous events this week. He seems to build his way through the events. Not the best starter yet, but he seems to get stronger and stronger as an event goes on. And with this being the 200 meters, that gives him plenty of time to build up that speed and use that power that he has.
Well, just keeping an eye on Michael Schoenmaker. Looks like it'd be faster pace than the first heat. Schoenmaker He's going to be first to the halfway point. You say that, Dadon is coming back. Closing stages of this one, a couple of seconds faster than we saw Darko Duric go through in that first heat. Schumacher and Dadon side by side there. Derwinski in third.
Dadon there with a quick swimming speed, but it was Schumacher who's quicker around the walls, and then he gets an advantage, pulls away, and the Israeli swimmer then chases him down to the next wall and the next turn. Also going well there is Derwinski in lane 3 with that high turnover, and he's coming back into the fold.
He's coming through very strongly, Derwinski. As we go past that 15-metre mark, Schumacher just holding on to the lead. I wonder if Dadon will make a sprint there at the end, just to get it in ahead of Schumacher. Schumacher there over in first place, again away in the turn. Dadon again having to try and play catch up. Derwinski, a very good swim here from him, and he's really coming through strongly. Yeah,
Derwinski there paced this race well. We do say that there's 200 metres in the S4 category is more of a race about tactics. It's a longer race, it isn't a sprint for these athletes. And here we see now Dadon looking towards Schumacher as he breathes, trying to catch him. He's 17, he'll want to take that victory.
Well, is he sending a message to the experienced Netherlands swimmer, Michael Schumacher? He's changed gear. Ami Omer Dadon in that final 50 metres, and he's gone past Schumacher. Schumacher, I think, just let him go. Dadon, 3:11.16 for him. So a good time, a good finish. Well, Dadon is faster than Darko Duric in that first heat, but you've got to think Duric and Smetany have got a little bit more to give in the final. But Dadon sending a message to them all. 3:11.16 for the young man from Israel. Second place Schumacher, third place Derwinski, and fourth place Tommy Brashta. They'll all qualify for that final. Schumacher was away fast, looked good in the early stages. He's back towards the end, and the sprint from the young Israeli taking him past the Netherlands swimmer.
We see a great underwater shot. We've been really fortunate with all these camera shots, and there another overhead shot just to see the differing techniques from these athletes.
Well, I wonder if Hamid Demir is on course to claim a place in that final. Hamid Demir there, just coming down into the final stages. Well, in the previous heat, Pablo Niazadov went 4:31.07. So that is the target for Hamid Demir, 4:31.07. And the clock just kicking over here. He has to go faster than his entry time if he is going to make it into that final. And he comes in 4:42.90, so just outside that time. So Niazadov should progress to the final. Ami Omer Dadon from Israel takes that one. The sprint finish ahead of Michael Schumacher from the Netherlands. Well, the next event, going to the other end of the pool, and it's the S5 50 freestyle. This should be fast, Liz.
Yep, there's 3 heats, so there won't be any hanging around. People want to get themselves into that final. In lane 4, it'll be Italian favourite Francesco Bocciardo, 200-metre freestyle champion, got a gold medal in the 100 metres breaststroke. He'll be looking to add to that tally.
Bashar Halabi leading them out. Next to it, followed there by Andrew Mullen of Great Britain and Francesco Bocciardo of Italy. Israeli swimmer Bashar Halabi. Again, 3 heats as we said, so this could be very fast. No one really will be holding back too much. Andrew Mullen, they're a medalist a couple of days ago in the backstroke, hoping to be on the medal podium again. He has been in the European Championships before, a couple of silvers. the last couple of years. Bocciardo looked very strong in the 200 freestyle. He'll definitely be the favourite for this one, but renowned more as a distance man, Liz, and it might take him a little bit longer to get up into his stroke here in the 50.
Yeah, he's renowned for that high turnover though once he does get going, so if he can get up and into his stroke quickly enough to get those arms turning over quickly, then we'll see the power of him develop down the 50 metres and just get stronger as he heads for the wall.
There's that black stripe on his arm there. All the Italian swimmers had that black mark on their arm, just in tribute to the disaster in Genoa and the bridge collapse in Genoa a few days ago. The tribute played by this very strong Italian team. Real mixture of starts here, sit starts. Some swimmers standing on the block, some in the water.
Yes, now we see Great Britain's Andrew Mullen getting away well with that one strong leg that he has, maximising that 15 metres underwater, because he knows that once they're up and into the stroke, Bocciardo of Italy will come climbing back. And here we see now, as expected, Bocciardo starting to forge ahead of the rest of the field. Yeah,
Bocciardo up into his stroke, and he looks like he's going to lead them home. Mullen now trying to hold on to Kaczynski for second place, but Bocciardo is going to do this one. Bocciardo takes it in 33.45. Good swim from Bocciardo, just 0.25 of a second outside his entry time. Kaczynski came through very strongly for second place, 36.78, just 5/100ths ahead of Andrew Mullen from Great Britain. And touches like that, Liz, could be the difference between making the final and not making the final.
Yeah, especially in that first heat, you want to get in and you want to go fast. And it could be that might not be enough for Andrew Mullen, but he is an experienced man, and he will hope that he'll sit now and he'll watch. But there was no doubt about the winner there, Bocciardo of Italy, powering away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, Bocciardo looking really, really strong in the closing stages there. Bocciardo takes it 33.45. That should be enough for the final. Kaczynski's given himself a good chance there, finishing second. Heat number 2. Stefan Führer and Sebastian Rodriguez. Both of these swimmers in the centre lane, more experienced swimmers. I was going to say they're both in their 50s, but Führer is 50, Sebastian Rodriguez is 61.
He has an impressive record at the European Championships, though.
We saw the home favourite James Scully dearly love to make the final. Speaking to him yesterday, James Scully enjoying himself here in his home games, which could be his last ever championships for the Irish teams. Been his great servant, European and world medalist in the past. Love to go out on a high. So he's working towards the 100. This is the 50 though. James Scully's going to have his work cut out. Two experienced men in the middle. Stefan Führer. He had an excellent swim to take a medal in the breaststroke. First time though we've seen Sebastian Rodriguez in the black hat and that sit start in the middle. The reigning champion here.
Yeah, and there we saw Rodriguez of Spain getting the best start, getting up and into his stroke. 61 years old, sprinting down this 50 metres against the younger guns, is that fair to say? But here going well. It is Stefan Führer of Switzerland. Picked up a medal in the breaststroke event, and here he's having the swim of his life.
Well, Stefan Führer really going well. He's ahead of Rodriguez. Rodriguez is under pressure now from Anthony Ponce-Bertrand, but it is Stefan Führer. Great swim there. 33.87 for Führer. He should make his way into the final with that. Rodriguez 35.87 in second, and Ponce-Bertrand in third, 36.30. But a good swim from Stefan Führer of Switzerland. The Swiss team having a great championships.
Yeah, and he really didn't want to make any doubt there. We've said how competitive this 50 freestyle is in this S5 category. He pushed off the wall. We saw a close finish in that first heat. You don't want to be risking being on the end of the wrong end of the touch. And there, Brewer making no doubt about guaranteeing, barring any disqualifications, his place in the final tonight.
Brewer convincing win there, 33.87 for the Swiss man. He takes that second heat. Rodriguez and Ponce Bertrand, the two Spanish swimmers, in second and third. James Scully, 37.13. Well, he's in danger of missing out the final, the Irish swimmer. He's had a good week so far, though, Scully.
All eyes will be on this final heat for a few of those athletes that got in the first touches in the first two heats. Exciting times for the 50 freestyle S5 category.
Well, Antonio Fantine, the world record holder, set that record recently, just in June this year. He goes in lane 4. The new world record holder in the 50 backstroke next to him, Yaroslav Semenenko. These two swimmers with completely different impairments coming together in this S5 class. There's Semenenko, swimmer with no arms, so he is going to get off the blocks very, very strongly. He's going to use that pace that he has underwater. He's going to use the full 15 metres you would expect. And the young world record holder, Antonio Fantine from Italy. Just in the water there, the only swimmer in the water is the world record holder.
As expected, there's Semenenko, that red cap in the middle, getting off to the best start, turning over onto his back, using that butterfly kick to great effect.
Yeah, Semenenko, as we expected, would lead in the early stages, but look at the stroke of Antonio Fantine there. Really, really high turnover, and he goes past Semenenko. We'll just keep an eye on the clock here. 31.58 is the world record held by Fantine. It's going to be very close indeed, and it's inside it. 31.16. We have seen a world record in the heats this morning by Antonio Fantine of Italy.
Great swimming there. He had the advantage of Semenenko setting that early pace, so he had something to chase, and well, did he chase. Great swimming there from Antonio Fantine this morning.
Well, excellent swimming there from the Italian. Semenenko, we thought would get off well, and he did get a really good start using that underwater strong legs that he has. But the champion, the world record holder from Italy, really showing his strength in the closing stages there. 31.16. He knocks 0.4 of a second off his own world record. Absolutely amazing for the Italian. Fantine takes the third heat in a world record time, 31.16, ahead of Semenenko and ahead of Theo Curie. Those swimmers will all make their way to the final. And as we thought, that 5/100ths of a touch in the first heat was decisive. Kabchev progressing to the final at the expense of Mullen. Men's 50 backstroke S3. Here's the next one up, Miguel Angel Martinez Tuelo, Spanish swimmer, right in the centre there, in between the two Ukrainians. There is the Spanish swimmer, Martinez Tuelo. Next to him, Palmarchuk and Panabratets, the two Ukrainians. Again, we have two heats in this one. One is 50 backstroke. There's Martinez Tuelo. Very much the fastest entry time in this one, some 6 seconds ahead of Palamarchuk. Martinez Tuelo, his 5th European Championships. He's looking to add more medals to the tally that he has. 12 medals, not 12 gold medals for Martinez Tuelo. Seems to be a serial silver medalist, Martinez Tuelo, over the years. We saw him in the World Championships in Montreal in 2013 with 5 silver medals.
Sometimes you get those meets. You said you come in some meets, you just everything goes your way and you get those touches, you get those gold medals. But similarly, you can be on the other side of those results.
It was all mostly different people as well that finished ahead of him. You can understand if he's up against someone like the great E.R. Boki, who dominates the class. But Martinez Tuelo, well, he's one of the top swimmers in Europe. We'll see if the experienced Spaniard, 34 years of age now, make his way into this final. Good start.
Yeah, we saw the Spaniard in lane 4 with a different start to the rest of his competitors, play into his advantages, up and into his stroke. With those straight arms, he's not able to bend them, so all of the power coming from his shoulders.
His legs going from side to side, but his upper body looking very straight, his head looking very steady indeed. Martinez Tuelo, some movement in his body. It's really affected his direction because his head is setting that direction. That's good use there of his technique. Very high turnover. It looks like it is Palmarchuk in second place, just pushing Martinez Tuelo in the closing stages here. Just over the 50-second mark for the Spanish swimmer. 52.56, that'll be good enough to claim him a place in the final, as will Palmarchuk. Hanna Bratec coming in now in lane number 3, the third Ukrainian home. But good swim there from Miguel Angel Martinez Tuelo to win that one.
Yep, he'll be happy with a comfortable heat swim there. It's always nice, even though when you come in that centre lane, to have a good swim for it to go to plan. Just a couple of seconds off his entry time, but that will again have been part of his plan. And there we see him really stretching that start band, getting up and straight into that stroke. And really, he never looked back.
Well, Martinez Tuelo with about a 5 metre lead at the end, just under 5. Yeah, finishes there. Great overhead shots, giving us excellent perspective here on the swimmers in Dublin. Martinez Tuelo, 52.56. Only 2 swimmers under the 1 minute mark. Palmarchuk in second position, 56.94. Big favourite for the next heat will be Vincenzo Boni, reigning European champion from Italy, going in lane 4. We saw Mikael Fredriksson yesterday, the Swedish swimmer, getting a good start in the backstroke in the individual medley. He's also very good off the blocks, Mikael Fredriksson.
Yeah, he gets a good push off his legs. He tries to use that to his advantage because those athletes with the lower leg impairments and that high turnover of arm stroke tend to chase him down as they head for the wall.
We saw the high turnover of Martinez Tuelo in that first heat. Vincenzo Boni is renowned for a really, really high stroke rate on this backstroke. And he does the backstroke in the freestyle events as well. That's how good his backstroke is.
Yeah, sometimes with these athletes, the way that their body position is in the water, they actually get less resistance from being on their backs.
Fredriksson there from Sweden. Boni right next to him. And number 4. Starting very well is Ostapchenko. Ostapchenko from Ukraine. 17-year-old, and Josiah Top as well. Good start for the German swimmer in that red cap. Losing a lot of distance underwater.
Yeah, and we've said that those athletes with the upper arm impairments have to maximise those leg kicks to give themselves the best chance, and we saw the youngster Top doing so. But now in those centre lanes, as expected, it's Boni and Ostapchenko who are coming through. Different recovery strokes. Boni with those straight arms. Ostapchenko, slightly less movement in his shoulders, but getting a great rhythm.
Yeah, very good swim there, Boni, just under the 50-second mark. Ostapchenko just over. And the young German swimmer 19-year-old, coming in third position, 57.3, so very good for Josiah Top from Germany. But there's Boney. Well, that was a comfortable swim for him. Trying to challenge the European record tonight, I think. 44.94, that mark. Boney looked pretty comfortable, but a good start from the young German swimmer, the red caps of Germany.
Yeah, there was it up, going right down deep into the water so that he can maximise that 15 metres that he's allowed to kick under there, and it really did set him up well. He beat his entry time by 4.5 seconds. 3.5 seconds. My maths is bad today.
Well, Josiah Top under the 1 minute mark. He'd be pleased to break that barrier. 57.33, Ostapchenko in second, Vincenzo Boni in first position in that second. Always good to get under these milestone marks, isn't it? Under a minute. Yeah. Sounds great.
And he didn't just get under it, he smashed it. So now the key is to try and stay under it.
He'll be in the final. He'll have another chance to improve his time later. Men's 100 freestyle S8. About to come out onto poolside. 50-metre champion Mikael Golas in the middle lane, and the great Irish hope there, Johnny McGrath. His family will be here. Speaking to his mother last night, she was in the crowd last night. Big support for the Irish contingent, and some interesting outfits over there.
I was going to say, the Irish suits have gone up a notch or 6 this morning.
There is McGrath. Can he make the final? It's going to be a tough ask for the Irishman. Some strong swimmers in this one. There are only 10 in the 2 heats. So he's got a chance, the Irishman, if he can do this, but he's in one of the outside lanes. He's going to have to swim at his very best. He's going to try and make that final. There's Golas, again the S8 class. Range of impairments in this one. You quite often see the one-armed swimmers, like Mikael Golas. There's those Irish suits. Oh my goodness. We need to get one of those, Liz.
I don't know, Ellen Keane's dad might want to get one. They've probably taken his up a notch or 2, haven't they?
Torben Schmidtke from Germany goes in lane 5. Right at the top there is Johnny McGrath from Ireland. Mikael Golas in the centre. Picotti from Italy in lane 3. Pika Freiber from the Czech Republic down here in lane number 2. But Mikael Golas, the 50-metre champion, excellent start there. Really, really high rate there with that one arm. Really high recovery as well.
Yeah, getting away well and driving his stroke from his hip undulation, using that butterfly leg kick style, because he knows that Torben Schmidt will be coming back at him. As we can see here, there's not much separating them at the turn. 1.03 seconds, Golas having got away very, very well. Now Torben Schmidt will be trying to stick with the 50 freestyle champion down his second 50.
Golas used the start to great effect. He used the turn as well, those strong legs, driving him off that turn. Schmidtke coming back. The 2-arm stroke. It's the 2-arm swimmer against the 1-arm swimmer at the end. We saw a very similar contest in the 50. Mikael Golas was a dead heat in the 50 metres heat. It's not going to happen again, is it? It's very close indeed. 0.1 of a second. Torben Schmidtke stretched for the wall, and Golas is beaten by 0.1 of a second. But again, another close race, and a real good example of different impairments all coming together at the end of the race.
Yeah, and that's the important thing to remember when you look at these different events. People don't always look the same when they're stood behind the block, but functionally they have the potential to reach the same goals, reach the same speeds, reach the same results at events. And they're a great difference at that overhead shot. Michael Golas looking at Torben Schmidt. Torben Schmidt head down, finishing strongly into the wall.
Oh, I just thought, are we in for another dead heat here? It was very close, 0.12 of a second the difference. So Torben Schmidtke takes that one ahead. Michael Gollis and Peter Freiber. Johnny McGrath giving himself a great chance of making the final, finishing ahead of Ciampraquotti of Italy. We said McGrath needed a lifetime best. I think that was a lifetime best, giving himself a great opportunity, spurred on by the home crowd. Second heat sees two Spanish swimmers in 3 and 4. And the on-form Joshua Grove from the Switzerland team. We're having a great championships. He goes in 5.
There is Joshua Grove. He finished strongly in the 50 metres freestyle, so it might be that his training's more set up for this 100 metres.
Also, some in the 400 freestyle, so Joshua Grove. 2 medals so far. And there's the 400 champion Inigo Lopez Sanz from Spain. We'll go in lane 3. Martos Minguet, Spanish colleague. Bronze medalist in the 50 freestyle. He will go in lane number 4. So Joshua Grove in lane 5. The upper lane of those 2 yellow lane markers. Good start from Martos Minguet in lane 4.
Yeah, great reaction to the double up there by the Spaniard, and he's coming into this event with the quickest entry time. But already we see he's got company from his compatriot Lopez Sanz.
Lopez Sanz swam a very good 400 freestyle. He's dominant in that one to take that title. 3 swimmers coming in together now. Joshua Grove has picked up the pace, and he's going over in first place for the Swiss swimmer, and the 2 Spanish swimmers next to him in second and third. These 3 away and clear, but Joshua Grove looking excellent here in this 100.
Yeah, and he had a great high turnover down that first 50 metres. He doesn't want to leave this to chance. He's going to stamp his authority and trying to get the psychological advantage over the Spanish athletes going into this final this evening.
Well, Torben Schmidtke in the first heat was 105.18. And Joshua Grove, I think, is going to be inside that. It's going to be inside that by quite a margin. 103.72 for Joshua Grove. It's Lopez Sanz and Martos Minguet in second and third. And in fourth place, Lynn Harris from Portugal in 106.52. And Dokaya from Belgium, 108.76. So that might be good news for Johnny McGrath of Ireland. I think he might have progressed to that final. But Joshua Grove looked excellent there in the second half of that race.
Yeah, and he started the meet brilliantly. Switzerland are having a great meet. He wants to get another medal for his country.
Switzerland, another couple of very good swims we've seen this morning. A couple of great chances for the medals. Joshua Grove will progress into that final ahead of Inigo Lopez Sanz and Martos Minguet. Good news for the Irish team that Johnny McGrath has made it in 8th position, so excellent swim there, and the Irish just realised that in the venue here, cheering their home swimmer. He's made it into another final. Women's 100 freestyle S8. Well, the Irish got no time for resting here. They've got another swimmer in this one. First heat on the way out. A lot of swimmers in this S8 event. Liz, 2 heats, 7 in the first one, 8 in the second. Palazzo, a double gold medalist from Italy, goes in this first heat. There's the Italian. Italians had a quiet night last night. We didn't hear the national anthem once.
We didn't hear the national anthem, but they did pick up a lot. They still had a lot of spaces on the podium. Still a good night for the Italians who were sat next to us. They gave the nod. They promised more tonight.
Yeah, they're not too unhappy, are they?
No, they go pretty well. They're having a great meet. And Palazzo herself having a great meet.
There's Emily Winter. And there's Alva Kelly. Big home support for her. Again, she's going to have to be on her very best to make the final here. Alva Kelly. I think her ranking coming into this is 8th position, so she can hold that ranking, she can make it into the final. She's going to have to swim somewhere around about the kind of 118 mark, possibly. to make this. We'll see. Palazzo in the centre lane. Italy going off the block. Alba Kelly, the only swimmer not to go from the block. She starts in the water straight away. Very good start from lane 4. Zina Francesca Palazzo. She's ahead of Amelie Winter in that bright suit there, one lane up. Zudairi Barezzo, the young Spanish swimmer, going well in the early stages.
And there we can see on the edge of the shot, Alba Kelly, who did start in the water getting that disadvantage, started to claw the other athletes back, but Palazzo turning here at the head of the field, 33.81, swimming well. She's in great form, already a couple of gold medals under her belt, and she'll be looking to add to that this evening.
Amelie Winter is a medalist in the 400. She's been a medalist in this 100 freestyle as well at the European Championships in the past, and the Danish swimmer going really well there, but Palazzo leads them home. It is Zudairi Barezzo in 3rd position. Alba Kelly going well, maybe holding on to 4th place where she needs to be. Palazzo will take this one ahead of Amelie Winter. Zudairi Barezzo in 3rd. Alba Kelly will be in 4th place, giving herself a chance in 119.10. Well, certainly an opportunity for Alba Kelly, and that's exactly the same time that she entered in. So again, consistent swimming from the Irish swimmer. I think she might have to do a lifetime best. Well, she's matched her entry time. She can't do much more than that. Alba Kelly there, the only swimmer starting from the water. That gave her a disadvantage at the start, but she picked up towards the end.
Yeah, we saw her power towards the turn, and then again she loses momentum in the turn once they push off the wall, because she doesn't get that push. And Palazzo leading the field, but Alba Kelly cementing her place in that heat in 4th. So now she just needs to watch the clock of the 2nd heat.
Palazzo taking that one. Comfortable victory, 110.48 for the Italian swimmer. Amelie Winter in 2nd. Zudairi Barezzo in 3rd. Alba Kelly have a close eye on this 2nd heat to see if she can progress to another final. Well, Alice Tighe, gold medalist from yesterday from Great Britain. She goes in lane number 4. She is the world record holder in this one. Very fast, 103.66. There's Alice Tighe, behind her, Claire Soupio from France. Big smile on her face, and no wonder. A full set of medals already at these championships for the 50-year-old Claire Soupio. Gold in the 50 freestyle. Should be strong enough to progress to this final. Looking at the entry times. There's Kate Jalmagi from Estonia. Alice Tighe there, the world record holder. It's been a great season so far. 2 Czech Republic swimmers in this one. Duskova, Floriankova. 2 Great Britain swimmers as well. Alice Tighe. And in lane 3, Megan Richter.
All athletes away there. Megan Richter of Great Britain using her underwater to great effect, knowing that once they're up and into the stroke, Alice Tighe and Claire Soupio, the 50 freestyle champion, will start to power down the pool as they lead with their arms.
Well, Alice Tighe set that world record in May this year. She went out at 30.92 and she set that record. 31.27 there, just 0.3 behind. We saw her in the backstroke yesterday go out very fast, under world record pace. And she said, yeah, she probably went out too fast because she paid for that pace later on in the race. But Megan Richter and Claire Soupio fighting for 2nd, but the French swimmer coming back strongly there with a white cap, and Alice Tye just easing off now into the closing stages of this one.
Yeah, Claire Supio there finishing strongly. We've seen strong finishes from her in other events, a higher turnover than Alice Tye there. Alice Tye just taking a breath to the right, seeing Supio, seeing the danger, and winning the heat by 0.7 from the French lady, with Megan Richter of Great Britain taking 3rd place.
Well, top 4 swimmers there in safely. And the 5th swimmer, well, all eyes for the Irish fans will be on the 5th swimmer there. And that was Floriankova from the Czech Republic, and she is slower than Alba Kelly, so it looks like Alba Kelly will make it into the final. Good news for the Irish team, they've been on the right side of some of the times today, so the fans will be pleased if these results are confirmed. Alice Tye, though, looked very, very comfortable in that race. Good first 50, strong first 50, and she eased off in the second 50. Claire Supio had a good swim. Very consistent there from Claire Supio. She's looking for another medal. Gold, silver and bronze so far. Megan Richter also. A couple of medals to her name already. Great Britain 1 and 3 with Alice Tye and Megan Richter. Claire Supio in 2nd place, and the 2 Czech swimmers in 4th and 5th. It does look like Alba Kelly has made it, so the Irish fans very happy again.
Yes, they're being treated to some great swimming this morning. And again, in the next event, they'll have to wait. They'll have to patiently wait through the first heat, but they'll get to see another home swimmer go in heat 2 of this men's S6 400 metres freestyle.
Well, 4 swimmers in the first heat, 5 in the second. So only having to lose 1 swimmer from the 2 heats. Here's the lineup for heat number 1. Daniel Videra. Portugal goes in centre lane. We've seen him once already this week, Daniel Videra. It's his debut competition here in Dublin. Daniel Videra, again, one of a crop of new Portuguese swimmers that we've seen come through at these championships. He always had quite a small squad, quite a high quality squad, maybe half a dozen swimmers, but certainly just about double that squad. They're bringing a lot of youngsters and a lot of newcomers to their squad, the Portuguese.
Yeah, we're seeing that from a lot of nations, and sometimes you have those quality swimmers, small groups, but they're all around the same age, so they all go at the same time. And here, Videra were looking to qualify for a place in the final this evening.
I have the experience of Jo Walinski next to him. Walinski, medalist in the European Championships back in 2014. Four swimmers there, 3 going from the blocks, 1 going from the water. 4 swimmers, Francisco Javier Carsomo Arana on the right hand side there, down at the bottom. Daniel Videra from Portugal in 4, Jo Walinski in 5, the Israeli. Right at the top there, Radomir Pacha from Slovakia, a 19-year-old Slovakian, the youngest in this heat. But looking pretty comfortable for the swimmers at the front. They know they only have to finish ahead of 1 swimmer, and they'll be pretty confident in doing that in this heat.
Yes, you can look at the entry times when you're coming into a meet, and you can generally get a good idea of how the heat is going to play out. Obviously, you can't take it as gospel, because we've seen some brilliant performances from the outside lanes already in these championships. But with a distance such as the 400 metres freestyle, you've got the time to play around. You can sense your pace in. You've got enough pool to up your gears if you're required to do so.
Well, it doesn't look like swimmers will be going into top gear in this one. Very relaxed start there from Daniel Videra of Portugal. He's going to lead them into that first turn. And we had a little swim yesterday in the competition too, didn't we, Liz?
Yes, we did, if you can call it swimming. No, it was really nice to get back in and experience this incredible venue they've got here in Dublin.
seemed a nice pool, a nice temperature for swimming. We haven't lost it completely, almost.
No, but I don't think we'd be playing it in here anymore with the big guns. Nobody's going to be scared that they hear that we got back in the water yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very relaxed stuff there from Daniel Videira of Portugal. Francisco Javier Carasomo Arana. Next here, the Spanish swimmer. 27 years of age, and again, it's another swimmer making his debut. The Portuguese swimmer and the Spanish swimmers both making their debuts here at these championships. Joao Walinski, well, he has a great international record. The Israeli, a couple of times he's been to the Paralympic Games in London in 2012 and in Rio in 2016, and 2 World Championships as well under his belt. As well, it's 4 European Championships. This is his 4th one. He's won medals in the Europeans before, never on the world stage, but Walinski, using his experience there, he's in 3rd spot as they come to the halfway point. The Israeli team, again, another one of these countries that are really bringing through some youngsters. Dadon has been fantastic, hasn't he? One of the stars.
Yeah, Israel got 2 gold medals on the first day of action, courtesy of Dadon and the very experienced Imbel Pizarro. And whilst what we're seeing at these championships, there seems to be a real the platform championships that a number of nations are using to mix that youth, or not necessarily young as in terms of their age, but young in terms of their experience on the international stage, with the more experienced athletes, and look to grow their squad sizes, because as we've seen in so many eras gone by, the likes of Spain and Portugal, they've always been very successful teams, but from a small handful of swimmers. And as I was saying, if all your swimmers are around the same age and around the same generation of an era of swimming, then when they all decide to stop, you're left with a big gap. And actually the best way to ease that transition is to mix and blend that youth and experience.
Well, Spanish team has always had some experienced campaigners. Sebastian Rodriguez, we saw him earlier, 61 years of age and still going strong. And they've always had the big names. They've always had quite a long life in swimming, the Spanish swimmers.
Yeah, and also another great example of this, what the Spaniards do really well, is Sarai Gascon. We've said she's one of the most experienced members at this competition, and she's still only 25 years old. So they introduced her to the squad very, very young, and she's developed and she's won them a whole host of medals, and she's still loving her sport. She's still enjoying everything. So it pays off sometimes to take a gamble on those youth swimmers.
And she's got Noraya Marquez Soto following in her wake as well. A great role model for Noraya Marquez Soto as well, Sarai Gascon.
Absolutely, and there's nothing better, and we've seen it in other events within this programme, when a lot of people, they come into the team, but then they end up racing their role models and their idols and eventually beating them. And there's no better feeling, and there's no better legacy for the sport.
There's a Portuguese swimmer, Daniel Videira, got 2 medals so far at these championships. Good to see them get on the medal podium. Speaking to the coaches a couple of days ago, first 2 days of competition, they were saying, oh, we've had so many 4th places, so many close finishes, and you know, we really just want to get on the medal podium. But 2 bronze medals in the first 2 days of competition, and you know, this man might have a chance of adding to their tally. Well ranked in terms of the rankings coming into the event, and he's looking pretty relaxed. This is, you know, very pedestrian from the Portuguese swimmer, but he's still stretching away from the rest of the field. You see the impairment there in his left hand as the stroke goes over. His entry time is 5:31. No surprise to see it significantly slower than that, 6:10.40. That'll be good enough for him to make the final. Carasomo Arana from Spain in 2nd position. Time, again, significantly slower than the Portuguese swimmer, but he's faster than his entry time. So Carasomo Arana, pleased with that one. You sometimes find that, Liz, when you take it easy and you're very relaxed, you come in with a good time and you think, oh my goodness, how did that happen? I wasn't hardly trying at all. And then when you try and pick up the pace, then it just doesn't happen for you.
Yeah, and you often say for that extra gear that you feel like you've jumped up, you put in a lot more energy and a lot more effort for a lot less return than you would expect. And sometimes the most relaxed swims actually end up being the most efficient and the most powerful.
Well, it's certainly relaxed from Daniel Videira of Portugal. He will take that heat in a time of 6:10.40. Good time for Karasomo Arana, 6:17.24 in second position. So Videira takes it, Karasomo Arana in second. Swim from Valinsky, he'll progress to the final. And a good time from Pacak of Slovakia, an improvement on his entry time. Massive improvement there, 44 seconds, so good debut on the international stage there from Pacak of Slovakia. Well, we'll hear some noise now from the home crowd. This second heat sees Thijs van Holvegen of the Netherlands in 4 and the home favourite Patrick Flanagan from Ireland in lane number 5.
Yeah, the swimmer's just waiting to come out now, but I'm pretty sure that when Flanagan rolls onto poolside, that crowd opposite us, Paul, in their Irish suits and their flags, in their tinsel wigs, are going to start making some noise.
Oh, great fashion here we're seeing in this arena. These are great suits.
I can get you one if you want.
Yeah, well, it's an option. There he is. Crowd rise to their feet. Patrick Flanagan lives right here in Dublin. Big chance for the Irish team to get on the medal podium. Flanagan looking relaxed, looking up to the supporters. Can hardly believe what he sees.
It was great to have this level of support in the crowd for him. He'll really be wanting to try and put himself in a position to try and get this first medal of the competition for the Irish team.
There's Thijs van Holvegen, silver medalist from the Paralympic Games. Turkish swimmer Igor Sanel. He will go in lane number 3. And one of the centre lanes there, lane number 5, Patrick Flanagan. Vitsasek there on the left-hand side. Czech swimmer Leonardo Renic from Croatia. Right up there in lane number 6. Flanagan starting from the water, Van Hoofwegen starting from the blocks. And we've seen Van Hoofwegen go out fast in the heats for his other events this week, and it's no surprise to see him go ahead in the early stages.
No, and he's got quite a high turnover down this the first 50 metres. You would expect often a lot of athletes take it out slowly, but with this 400 metres now, they've seen that slow first heat. They know that they can get into the final if they do everything properly, avoid any disqualification. So now they can play around with their tactics and prepare themselves for the final. And sometimes you'll see athletes speeding off down the first 200, testing their pace, and other times you'll see them building into it and seeing if they can finish strongly. But here, Van Hoofwegen definitely going for the first option of a fast opening 100 metres.
Well, Flanagan is good behind the rest of the field. He's lying in 4th place at the moment. He should be safely enough qualified for the finals if it stays like this. Van Hoofwegen way out in a very fast 1:12.42. Swim so far from Igor Sanel from Turkey. Leonardo Renic having a good start. Well inside pace that Leonardo Renic has posted before. Croatians having a very good competition here. They won their first gold medal yesterday in Sinovcic.
Yes, and we've seen so often just that one medal, especially on the top of the podium, for a nation really then sends positive vibes, confident vibes through the rest of the squad, and everybody then wants to be part of that action, part of that success.
Flanagan pulling up on the shoulder now of Leonardo Renic, and the crowd will be enjoying this. If Flanagan goes past the Croatian here, we'll hear some noise. You can just see the fans there as Flanagan just comes up alongside Renic. Van Hoefwegen, no, there's going to be no catching him. Just ease back slightly on the pace now, Van Hoefwegen, but still going pretty strongly. Certainly wanting to send out a message to his competitors here. That's the halfway point. Van Hoefwegen in first. And Flanagan has gone past Renic now into third position. And the next target for Flanagan will be Ugur Sinel of Turkey. Close actually for the minor places. Van Hoefwegen almost out of the picture and away and clear. Ugur Sinel from Turkey at the halfway point in second position. Patrick Flanagan in third place. Van Hoefwegen, 21-year-old, want to add to his medal tally here this week. He's a convincing winner of the 50 freestyle. Going up to the 400 distance, which is probably his favourite distance, Van Hoefwegen.
Yes, and now we see Van Hoefwegen coming one way, Senel and Flanagan passing him, going in the opposite direction. The local guy, Flanagan, definitely upped his stroke rate now, definitely riding the wave of this crowd. Every time he gets to a turn, we hear a noise. We could close our eyes and know when he was at the wall, but great swim from him. He'll want to get a good lane for this final. We talked about tactics in this 400 freestyle, and it is, they know that they can watch and comfortably make their way into the final. But 400 meter freestyle, we've seen it in other classification groups, so much can happen within the 8 lengths of the pool, so you don't want to be too far out of the action and miss someone coming up the outside.
Well, Van Hoefwegen going up the pool, Flanagan coming down the pool to the 300 meter turn. So that's the 100 to go now for Van Hoefwegen, but Flanagan now has gone past and into second place. He's really built this well, the Irish swimmer, and he has come through very strongly. Van Hoefwegen, well, there's no doubt that he is going to take this one. He's going to take it by a large margin. He's definitely the class of this field. He goes over at the 350 metre mark. 50 metres to go for the Dutchman, but it's been an excellent swim for Patrick Flanagan here of Ireland. Really built this throughout the race.
Yeah, now that he really worked that third 100 metres, he started to slow the pace again now and elongating his stroke, just relaxing as he comes into the turn for the final 50 metres. But no doubt about the winner of this heat. We've seen him win a few heats in other events this week, and he's going to be the first to the wall once again in his 400 metres freestyle.
Oh, Van Hoefwegen, 5:17.99. So good swim from him, just not too far outside his season's best, which is 5:15. And well, we'll hear the cheer. I think the fans will cheer Patrick Flanagan all the way home into the final stages here. Here he comes now with around about 15 metres to go, just going to be approaching the finish now. And Patrick Flanagan has swum this really well. Entry time of 5:38, so it's going to be outside that, but he's going to be in second position behind Van Hoefwegen. 5:53.95 for Patrick Flanagan. That is a good result for the home swimmer. He'll be second fastest into the final. And we heard a lot of noise, a lot of support for him during the heats. I wonder what the noise is going to be like if he can claim a medal in this final.
Well, it's day 5. The Ireland fans have been here every day. The Irish cheering their squad on, really, really wanting just to witness that first medal, and could tonight be the night.
They've got a good record in this event, the Irish. Darren McDonald is a Paralympic champion not too long ago, back in 2012. He was a world champion as well in 2013.
Yep, Flanagan at 21 years old. He showed us there he's possible, what rate he could hold on that 300 metres. We got a glimpse of what he's got in his armoury. So if he can start well tonight, then he could be the one to deliver.
Van Hoefwegen was away and clear. There was no one really to touch the Dutchman. He'll be a firm favourite for this final tonight. Van Hoefwegen touching the wall, well clear. Another big advantage over the second place swimmer, Patrick Flanagan, going into that. I don't think anyone's going to be able to touch Van Hoefwegen tonight, Liz.
No, he put in an impressive performance this morning. Only 2 seconds off his entry time. Didn't need to go that quickly. We said that he could sit in that middle lane and watch the rest of the field, which is what we saw the swimmers in the first heat do. But no, he went for it this morning and looked like he wanted to get a good time under his belt for the confidence for this evening.
Yeah, Van Hoefwegen will be the favourite. Flanagan in second position, but you know, some swimmers in that first heat will have certainly more in the locker. Daniel Videra, Portugal, Johan Valinsky, the experienced man from Israel. Well, they will certainly go faster. And a good swim from Carasomo Arana as well, the Spanish swimmer. And as we see, Vitsasek from the Czech Republic finishing the distance there in 8:14.63, an improvement for him. A couple of seconds for Vitsasek on his entry time. No doubt about the winner though, Thijs van Hoefwegen from the Netherlands, ahead of the home favourite Patrick Flanagan, with Ugur Sinel in third position. Oh, it's going to be an exciting final tonight, Les. Can't wait for that one. The noise should be phenomenal.
Yes, and because of the tactics employed in that first heat, it's difficult to predict. Can't use those times much as an indicator, but there'll be a lot of noise. We can guarantee that.
Women's 400 Freestyle S6, the first heat, sees two Great Britain swimmers in the centre lane. Swimmers just clearing the water from the previous heat there. The Irish fans cheering everything that Patrick Flanagan does, even getting out of the water. Big cheer for the man from the home team in Ireland. And there's the two Great Britain swimmers coming out, Grace Harvey, and next to her, well, the great Ellie Simmonds. What a record Ellie Simmonds has in this event.
Yeah, you know, and she took a year out. She made a conscious decision last year after the Rio Paralympic Games to take that year out. She didn't swim at all in that 12-month period, so this is her first time back in the competitive arena at major championships since then, and it was actually just quite difficult to make the Great Britain team.
Yeah, Ellie Simmonds did a good job to qualify for these championships. Grace Harvey is her first big international competition. Verena Schott, what a week that she has been having, the German swimmer. Gold yesterday, a hard-fought gold in the backstroke. Verena Schott will go in lane number 3. Right at the top there, we see Nina Kozlova, lane 7 for Ukraine. Chiara Cordini from Italy goes in 6. The youngest swimmer at these championships, Evelyn Salish from Hungary, goes in lane 2, just 12 years of age, swimmer down there in lane 2.
And there we see Salish, the swimmer, starting in the water, up and into her stroke early, and she'll get some great experience from swimming with these older members of the team. Seems a bit odd saying calling Ellen Simmons old at the grand old age of 23, but obviously she made her major championship debut at the World Championships in 2006 as a 12-year-old, and look where that led her. So, you know, great experience here for the Hungarian out there in lane 2.
She was very close in terms of the shake-up for the medals the other day in the breaststroke. She did, fortunately, was subject to a disqualification, but she was right up there with the leaders for a long time in that breaststroke. It was going to have our work cut out, the youngster, to qualify for the final tonight, because it's quite a high standard, I think, to make that one. Ellie Simmons going into an early lead, followed by her teammate Grace Harvey. Verena Schott from Germany, who's really been on fire this week.
Yeah, Verena Schott for so long has really featured in many major championship finals. More of a breaststroke dominant in her armory in the past, but she's really come to the fore at this meet, and she's reaping the rewards of some seriously good training blocks that she's managed to do with her squad this year. She's been to Lanzarote twice, Club La Santa for 2-3 week periods, and we can see she's happy, she's enjoying her swimming, and every time she gets into a final, she really does do a personal best time. Last night, it resulted in a European record.
She's third place at the moment, behind two GB swimmers, Verena Schott. Pretty good pace from Ellie Simmons in the early stages there, going through that first 100 and 119. Simmons, 3 times European champion in this event, 2009, 11 and 14. She didn't go to the 16 European Championships to compete. She's ahead of Grace Harvey at the moment as they come down to the halfway point. Grace Harvey, medal yesterday. And Grace Harvey, and she is looking to pick up another one here. It's her debut competition, Grace Harvey. She's been around the Great Britain squad, on the fringes of the squad for many years now, making a breakthrough this year.
Yeah, we say certain countries seem to do really well in certain categories. We're talking about the Spanish ladies doing really well in the S9 category. We know that the Brazilians have got great form in the S10 men's category, and Great Britain really have always had great strength and depth in this S6 classification group. So Grace Harvey, when you go to domestic competitions and you can't afford to have a bad day, so then when you come to these major championships, even if it is your debut, you're comfortable, a little more relaxed, because you know that you've raced the people in the lane next to you, i.e. Ellie Simmons in this case, at home on many occasions.
And Ellie Simmons not the only one, of course. Robinson as well, very strong GB swimmer in the S6 class. Grace Harvey just behind Ellie Simmons now as they go past the 250 mark. Two Great Britain swimmers just making sure of their place in the final this evening. There are 6 swimmers in the second heat, so the top 2 from this heat will be guaranteed, but you would think third place as well would be in a very good position, and possibly fourth too. Verena Schott there just in lane 3, but she's lying in 4th place at the moment. Chiara Cordini from Italy is going well, so Cordini in 3rd position as they come up to the 300 mark, but the 2 GB swimmers look like they are guaranteed a place in this final tonight.
Yeah, and Ellie Simmons, she knows that she hasn't got the training that she normally comes into these events with, but she also knows that she's a racer. So as with the men's event, that we saw everybody quite relaxed and taking it easy and not worrying about what lane they were in for the final, Ellie Simmons will want to win this heat so that she's in the mix, in the middle lanes for this evening when they all go to battle.
We talked about Lily Robinson. Of course, we have Maisie Summers-Newton in the next heat as well, who has been incredibly strong this week with 2 fantastic swims. We'll speak a bit about Maisie Summers-Newton when we come to the next heat. As you said, there's Great Britain, great tradition in the S6 class. Look like they are going to be guaranteeing 2 finalists here. Cordini still ahead of Verena Schott, German swimmer. She'll have done her sum. She'll know what the second heat have to offer. And 4th place, could still make it through for the German swimmer. She'll be in a good position with 4, she won't mind about that.
Yeah, and she spent 350 metres of this race with a long, strong stroke. She's just winding it up a little bit as we come down this last 50 metres.
Well, Ellie Simmons touches there, 5:30.08. And she'll be followed by Grace Harvey. These 2 will be guaranteed a place in the final tonight. Chiara Cordini from Italy, well, 3rd place you would think would be enough as well. Chiara Chiara Cordini just coming in ahead of Verena Schott there. The 17-year-old Italian into the finish now in that time of 5:53.89, so good improvement on the entry time for Chiara Cordini. 11-second improvement there, and that's put her in a great spot to make that final. Verena Schott just under the 6-minute mark, 5:57. I think that would be enough for Verena Schott to make that one, but swimmers in the next heat will know what they have to do.
They will, and 400-metre freestyle is slightly different to the shorter events in the sense that you can make big gains. So actually, if you're going, for some reason, you have a great race and you're just knocking 2 seconds off every leg, that's 16 seconds for the race. And if you've got those bigger personal bests, that is a possibility.
Verena Schott will be the one in the firing line, the 4th position swimmer, always the one in danger. We saw in the heats earlier in the S5, hundredths of a second could make the difference. Just been on the wrong end of that touch, might be missing the final. Ellie Simmonds though looking comfortable, good swim from the GB swimmer. Final swimmer still completing the distance here. That's Nina Kozlova, the 20-year-old from Ukraine. And good experience, Ukrainians bringing the youngsters here that might not feature in the medals, might not feature in the finals, but good experience for them.
Yeah, and we see it time and time again, these athletes coming at a young age, maybe not making finals, but in 8 years' time, they're the ones that are dominating finals, and that growth is so important.
It's GB 1 and 2 in that heat 1, with the Italian Chiara Cordini in 3rd place. Verena Schott should be enough to make the final for Germany in 4th place, but she'll have to wait for the next heat. There we go, heat 2 for the women's 400 freestyle S6. World record holder Elizaveta Mareshko in 4. Maisie Summers-Newton, well, what form the Great Britain swimmer has been on this week. She goes in 5. It's almost disappointing when there's no Irish in the race. These big cheers we've been having from the home fans.
I think they're resting up and saving themselves for that final.
Here's Maisie Summers-Newton. What a week she's had. Could she have hoped for anything better?
I don't think so, you know, she's another youngster coming in, but Mareshko in lane 4 in equally good form. She's also got a world record under her belt this week. So, exciting race lining up for this evening.
That's the world record holder. Set that world record in the last European Championships in Portugal. Maria Tsakona from Greece. She goes in lane number 2. Tall Victoria Tsapsova going from the block there in lane number 3 next to her countrymate, the world record holder, Elizaveta Mareshko. Maisie Summers-Newton goes in 5. Elma Bjornsdottir in 6. And Agata Kuplova from the Czech Republic right up there in lane number 7. But Mareshko, she tends to go out fairly hard in the heats.
Yeah, with Mareshko's stroke, she doesn't have any use of her legs, so she relies on that arm stroke to propel her through the water and keep her up high. And actually sometimes when you don't have those legs to balance you out, if you go too slowly with your arm stroke, your body position changes, your legs drop, and actually rather than just going a little bit slower, you can go like considerably slower. And she doesn't want to risk that because again, Mareshko loves to race.
Well, we've seen that this week, and she had a very good contest with her teammate, her countrymate, Victoria Tsapsova, just on the right of the 3 swimmers there as we see it. In the 50 freestyle, well, it's the smallest of margins, but Mareshko taking world record from her teammate. Both the swimmers under the old world record mark in the 50. She's got a good sprint, and we know she's a great distance freestyler as well. We've seen several battles between Mereshko and Ellie Simmons over the years.
And again, very different ways of which they swim the race. There we can see Mereshko powering ahead with those arms. As I said, no use of her legs. Maisie Summers-Newton, a more even, consistent stroke, similar to Evelyn Simmons. So actually, for Mereshko, she'll be aware of what Summers-Newton is capable of, because as I said, she's experienced Ellie Simmons in head-to-heads more times than she'd care to count.
And we've seen Maisie Summers-Newton go out pretty fast in the heats as well this week. We're pretty close to our best times. So we'll see how she goes as we progress through here. Maisie Summers-Newton with that entry time this year, her best this year of 5:52.47. She set that back in the World Series event in Sheffield back in June. So we'll see how she goes, the young GB swimmer, just 16 years of age. And really, when you're just 16, you just come in with no fear at all, do you?
Yeah, no fear, and also not much fatigue. You seem to be able to swim the same times in the heat, go all out 100%, and then come back in the final like you didn't swim in the morning. And that is that. But Mereshko is also, as you said, Paul, very, very good at doing that. And we've seen her. She's been on great form. She's like Verena Schott in the heat we saw earlier from Germany. It's PB, the best times, lifetime best in every single race that she's swum so far. Some of them have been world records, some of them resulted in Ukrainian records, but phenomenal form here from both swimmers that you can see in your shot at the moment.
Mereshko is leading them at the moment. Like this is going to be faster than the first heat. Mereshko going through 3:18.34. Over on the 250 mark. Maisie Summers-Newton too far behind, about 4 or 5 seconds or so. 7 seconds actually for Maisie Summers-Newton, and Mereshko is the difference. Mereshko just forging ahead. She was about 4 seconds ahead at the 100-metre mark, 6 seconds ahead at the 200, and we're up to 7 seconds. So just easing away out, the gap increasing as they go down to the 300-metre mark. Maisie Summers-Newton clear in second position. Victoria Savtsova lying in third place. Bjornsdottir from Iceland in fourth place. These are the top four clear ahead of the others. But Mereshko, well, just under the 4-minute mark as they go over at 300.
One thing that Mereshko does very, very well is she starts with that high stroke rate, but we see that it doesn't really drop off. She does well at maintaining it throughout the whole race. We know that she's got the speed. We said winning that 50 freestyle in a world record right at the beginning of the week, but also her 200-metre individual medley, which is more of an endurance race. She absolutely smashed her best time on that as well. So she is a swimmer who's at the moment got everything, and it'll be difficult to see past her in this final tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, the swimmer very much on form, and she has dominated this event for the past few years. Simmons and Mereshko kind of traded the titles really since 2014. The European Championships have been top of the world rankings between them for all of those years. Mereshko top of the rankings this year. Our best time this year so far, 5:24.44, but this could be a world leading time right here in the heats for Mereshko, and she finishes in 5:22.01. Maisie Summers-Newton will be around about the same time as Ellie Simmons here, 5:30 for Ellie Simmons, 5:33 for Maisie Summers-Newton. So Simmons will progress to the final in second position behind Mereshko. Maisie Summers-Newton in third spot. The other swimmers just coming into the finish now. Looks like Verena Schott will be safe enough into that final, I think, Liz. As these two swimmers, the third and fourth place swimmers coming in, that's Savtsova and Bjornsdottir. So Savtsova finishes there just over the 6-minute mark, 6:07. Bjornsdottir in 6:11. So Lorena shot with that time under the 6 minutes, not really in danger.
No, and as we said, she's an experienced athlete. She will have spoken to her coach. She's had a busy week, starting to get to that point now where you want to conserve energy. So she will have calculated that swim, and for her, there it was a good calculation, because she'll get her chance to go again for another medal this evening. So she'll have her work cut out, because this is a field full of class, and Mereshko, they're looking to be the firm favourite.
Mereshko, good swim there. The best time of the year, she'll be delighted with that one. Mereshko takes that second heat, 5:22. She'll be in fastest into the final. Lucy Summers-Newton will also progress to that final, as will Victoria Savtsova. And Elma Bjornsdottir will also go into that final. So, first 4 swimmers in each of the heats will progress tonight. That's the 400s. Let's move on to the sprints.
One extreme to the other, down to the other end of the pool. And time for some fast swing.
Bodaiko.
Relatively. That 400 was also fast.
But it wasn't a sprint.
True. It's quicker than I could go. Definitely.
You proved that yesterday.
It's probably quicker than you went yesterday too.
Yeah, you were wearing fins.
I've never swim freestyle without fins.
Not allowed to in these competitions, unfortunately, for us. 50 freestylers up at the opposite end of the pool. Bodaiko in that familiar blue cap. He always wears that blue cap, easy to spot him. Griska Bjornstad there, we saw him wheeling out first, the Norwegian. Saw a very good race in the breaststroke to take the silver medal. Michael Jones from Great Britain in 3. Here's Bodaiko. He's going in lane number 4. There's Bjornstad. Strong Norwegian. Santi Rade from Croatia goes up there in lane number 6. Nice pull-up. Very strong contender for the medals. Here's Bodaiko. You see him. Really good start. Really uses the underwater well. There's pull-up. Bronze medalist in this Europeans the last time. Bodaiko was the champion in Funchal in 2016. 5 swimmers in this first heat of the men's S7 50 freestyle.
Bodaiko and pull-up getting away pretty evenly, but very contrasting. First 50 metres, Bodaiko using that fly leg kick to get the advantage. Pull-up, the German, really worked on his power and strength in the last 4 years.
Now pull-up in the red cap, Bodaiko in the blue cap. They are going head-to-head here. Bodaiko looks like he might have the edge, but pull-up is coming through strongly. Good swim from pull-up, but Bodaiko takes it. 29.19. It's Mikey Jones in 3rd for Great Britain, but Bodaiko made to work quite hard there in the closing stages as pull-up pulled up. 29.19 for Bodaiko. He's a European record holder. Set that record in the Rio Paralympic Games. He was silver medalist on that occasion. 27.64, so 2.5 outside his own European record. But Bodaiko there in lane number 4. Great underwater shots we're seeing here. And that blue cap of Bodaiko, keeping him ahead of Tobias Pollap from Germany of that red cap. Good swim from Pollap, 29.60 for him. Faster than he went when he won the World Championship bronze last year. Tail ended up last year in Mexico. Bodaiko takes that one ahead of Pollap, and Mikey Jones of Great Britain should make the final with that time of 31.58. One more heat to come though, and there are 6 swimmers in this one. Andrei Trusov, we saw him earlier in the week, silver in the butterfly behind Bodaiko. but he finished really, really fast at the end of that butterfly. So the swimmers there, 2 Ukrainians, Kaczynski and Trusov. Nicholas Andersson, the Swede, there going next to the 2 Ukrainians, 2 and 3. Federico Bocelli, we saw him yesterday in the backstroke. Andrej Seni from Hungary, Karlo Kanisevic from Croatia. The tall figure of Nicholas Andersson. Wonder if he can squeeze his way into the final. The Swedes had a great day yesterday. Can Andersson follow this up? But Trusov in lane number 4, Ukrainian, will be favourite for this one.
Yeah, and the 18-year-old Ukrainian there getting off to a good start. See, the start's so important down these 50 metres freestyles. There's not much chance to correct any errors that you're having. And there we see he's just edging the field. But in lane 5, it's Bocelli, the backstroke medalist, who's also going really well for Italy.
Yeah, also going well there, it's Kaczynski, the Ukrainian, so it's the Italian leading the 2 Ukrainians here. Bocelli will take that one in 29.29, so just slightly behind the time of Bodaiko, but not by much. In second place is Trusov in 30.05, and in third place Kaczynski. They should qualify for the final this evening quite comfortably, but Bocelli, well, all the 3 swimmers in the middle got away pretty well there. Kaczynski maybe was the stronger at the end of the race, but Bocelli had that advantage coming into the closing stages, and he took that one for Italy. Clear, in fact, a couple of strokes ahead of the 2 Ukrainians. They will all qualify for that final. Bocelli, Trusov, Kaczynski, that's the top 3. Andrej Seni will also be in that final, as will Karlo Kanisevic. So top 5 swimmers from that heat made it into the top 8. Next swimmers coming out for the next event, it's the women's 50 freestyle S7. Oh, we saw a real young medal podium last night in the S700 backstroke, didn't we? There, this young lady, Anna Hontar, was one of those medalists. Anna Hontar, the youngest in this heat, 14 years of age. She's in the centre lane in lane number 4. And Sabina Weber-Treiber, gold medalist from the Mexico World Championships last year. Here's Nisa Heen, 16-year-old Turkish swimmer. Nicola Sinclair Maitland from Sweden, the 15-year-old. She was one of them, the swimmers, the teenagers that were on the podium last night. 2 15-year-olds and a 14-year-old last night, Liz.
And she's been a great find for the Swedish team. 2 medals for her at this championships.
Weber-Treiber, experienced of this field. Anna Hontar, the youngster, has been on great form in lane number 4. It is Sabina Weber-Treiber. That good start there. Winning a gold medal in Mexico last year. It was a real breakthrough for Sabina Weber-Treiber. Just been caught by Anna Hontar in the closing stages here. Treiber, the Austrian. Austria with a couple of medals so far. Treiber's trying to add to that tally, and Hontar, a very good finish there, taking her into the lead, but it was only those last couple of strokes she got on level terms with the Austrian.
Yeah, the Austrian, they're having a very powerful start, which is what she needed, because Anna Hontar of the Ukraine finished strongly, just gained pace the whole way down that 50-metre length, and she's got another victory in a heat under her belt.
Hontar looking strong at the end, but a very good start from Sabina Weber-Treiber. That's how she normally swims this 50 freestyle, just gets out ahead, tries to hold on towards the end of the race. This time, couldn't quite hold off the challenge from Anna Honta, but Weber-Treiber in second position this time. Should qualify her for the final. And in third position, it will be Nicholas Sinclair Maitland from Sweden. Top three confirmed as Hontar, Weber-Treiber and Sinclair Maitland. Mary Mäkinen, 39.16. She has a chance of making that top 8 with one heat to come. Second heat on their way. Another 2 Swedes in this one. Ida Andersson-Wolf and Agnes Kramer, but Denise Grahl very much be the favourite for this second heat.
Yeah, Denise Grahl showed very good sprint form to take the victory in the 50 metres butterfly at the beginning of this week. Seems so long ago now, but this is her favourite event and the one that she'll really want to win.
And she had a good contest there with Judith Roa Marechal from Spain. Spanish swimmer goes in lane number 3. Denise Grahl, she's renowned as a sprinter. She's won medals in all the major championships over the years. She's won a major title in this one. A number of silver medals, 4 silver medals at the major championships over the last few years. Denise Grahl, she'd love to make it a gold medal this time. Good chance for her to claim another European title here. Miss Kramer and Ida Andersson-Wolf. Judith Roa Marechal. Spanish swimmer Denise Grahl. Very good reaction time for the German.
Yeah, Denise Grahl always been a great sprinter. That's really where her strength lies. But Roa Marechal of Spain always getting off to a good start also. But now we can see the strength of Denise Grahl as she pulls away from the rest of the field. Agnes Kramer, we've seen her have some good starts, also going well in this 50 freestyle.
A nice V formation there for the field, but Denise Grahl is going to come home in front as we expected. She is going to be the one to beat in the final this evening. 33.29, significantly faster than the first heat. Agnes Kramer in second position. She'll qualify comfortably for the final. She'll be able to shout for the medals as well. Agnes Kramer. Denise Grahl happy with that. 33.29 for the German, just 0.3 of a second outside her entry time. German looking good there.
Yeah, getting off the block and then hitting the water first. Great underwater. As we said, the Spaniard in lane 3, Roa Marechal, always gets away well. But really, Denise Grahl just dominated this race from start to finish.
A good chance for the German team to claim another gold medal here at these championships. Denise Grahl looking great, looking in excellent form. Result is confirmed. Denise Grahl takes that second heat. She'll progress to the final in first place. Agnes Kramer and Ariel Halevi will also progress to that final, as well Judith Roa Marechal from Spain. Back to the medley swimming, Liz. We like a medley swim.
We do. Started with the medleys, finishing with the medleys. Lots of exciting stuff in between.
3 Great Britain swimmers in this one, but the champion in 100 backstroke, the youngster Hugo Didier from France, in the fast lane, in lane number 4, and he'll be full of confidence after the swim last night.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal finish in that 100 metres backstroke, just taking the victory in the closing stages, finishing strongly, and he'll be looking to get out ahead of the field in his first 100 metres. Using his backstroke strength to set up an advantage.
Lewis White in lane number 5. He swam the silver medal, swimming the freestyle, be very fast on the freestyle leg. He needs to be in touch when it comes to that freestyle. There's Adam Karas. Very young field here. Of the 8 swimmers, 6 of them are teenagers. Just Yuri Kaczynski out there in lane number 8. And Great Britain's Ollie Hind in lane number 2. You can see there. 26 and 23 years of age respectively. Ollie Hind's a great record in the major championships. He's an SM8 swimmer, now swimming up in the SM9 class. Still very much in contention, Ollie Hind in the early stages. And it's really all to play for between all of the swimmers here.
Yeah, and Ollie Hind, he does have a best time of 2 minutes 20.01, so he could be in contention if he can find that form that he's had in recent years. He's got a great backstroke, as with Hugo Didier, who was in that final last night. He came 4th, so he'll look to play strength. But here we see Lewis White of lane 5, in lane 5 of Great Britain, actually leading the field as we come into the 100 metres. But now we see Didier coming back. We know he's got this strong backstroke, a lot more relaxed than he went in the final last night, but they'll be looking to get onto that breaststroke. Nobody really favours the breaststroke leg in this heat of these S9 swimmers.
It should be interesting. Didier, as we expected, getting out there to lead after the backstroke. A very good turn from Lewis White, you have to say, using his 2 strong legs that he has to go ahead of Hugo Didier. But the French swimmer staying in contention. One lane down there is Jacob Leach in lane number 3, and Adam Carras going well. That is Frank Martinez from Spain in lane number 7, featuring in the early stages here. Well, there's 2 heats of this SM9, 200 metres individual medley. Some strong swimmers in the second heat. These swimmers can't afford to hold back here. Lewis White, a very, very good breaststroke there.
Yeah, and Hugo Didier did very well to minimise the damage that Lewis White could do to him down that breaststroke leg. He does have the lower leg impairment, so he is the weaker breaststroker. But here we see now Lewis White breathing towards the Frenchman in lane 4, staying ahead of him, doing enough on this freestyle leg.
Yeah, Lewis White looks like he's going to lead them home. Hugo Didier is going to be in second position. It should be good enough for these 2 swimmers to qualify for the final tonight. 2:24.21 from White, just ahead of Didier. Very good swim from Ariel Enrique Shrek Martinez from Spain in the outside lane. So making his debut, the 17-year-old at these championships, and with a time of 2:29, giving himself a good chance of making that final. He's in 3rd, Jacob Leach in 4th with 2:34 there for the Great Britain swimmer. So these are the top 4, but Lewis White leads them through. And it was a good start for Lewis White. He got out fast on that butterfly.
Yeah, Lewis White, has an upper arm impairment, so he uses those legs off the starts and off the turns to his advantage. Breaststroke is not his favourite stroke, but he knew that he needed to press on if he had a chance of challenging Hugo Didier down that final length for the overall 200 metres individual medley.
Lewis White of Great Britain takes that one, 2:24.21. Hugo Didier is 2nd, but Jacob Leach in 3rd. There is a disqualification, and the Spanish swimmer, after that good time, well, he has been disqualified. Second heat sees some big names here. Federico Morlacchi, the reigning champion of Europe, reigning Paralympic champion. He goes in lane number 4. Well, not quite so many teenagers in this second heat, Liz.
They were all in the first one.
They were. Well, not all of them. There's 4 teenagers in this one. A couple of 15-year-olds as well. What experience it is for them. There is the great man, Federico Morlacchi, great Italian champion. Won the last 2 European titles. Won a Paralympic gold in Rio. And also the last 2 world titles as well. It's got Salguero Galisteo of Spain. Goes in lane 3. There is Jacobo Garrido Brun, 15-year-old from Spain in 6. Tamas Toth, the great Hungarian, goes in lane number 5. Tamas Toth medal already this week. Tamas Toth, he's one of the top performers as well. Silver medalist behind Morlacki at the last European Championship, so watch out for him in lane number 5. But Morlacki, well, the world record holder for butterfly, and Morlacki away and clear in the early stages.
Yeah, this is an exciting race that we have in front of us in this heat. Morlacki getting out well. He is the supreme butterfly swimmer. Tamas Toth of Hungary, the backstroke Paralympic champion. Salguero Galisteo of Spain, a brilliant breaststroker. So really, every athlete needing to maximise the strengths that they have on their preferred strokes. Morlacki here, though, commanding lead over the rest of the field.
Well, Morlacki really dominating this one as he stretches away from the others. Good contest at the top between the two Polish swimmers, Patrick Biskup in 7, the backstroke specialist, and the young 15-year-old Igor Gregorovic. Biskup just getting in 2nd position, but we'll get onto the breaststroke. We'll watch out for Salguero Galisteo from Spain. Really competitive heat, this one. Very, very close with everyone there, and it is Salguero Galisteo and Tamas Toth just making inroads to the lead now of Federico Morlacki, giving themselves a chance of making this final tonight. Morlacki, probably his weakest stroke, the breaststroke's a very strong freestyler, but just being caught now by Toth and Salguero Galisteo as they come to this final turn.
Yeah, Morlacki knew he needed to make inroads in that first 100 metres. The two athletes flanking him on either side have arm impairment, so their breaststroke is stronger. They have that strong breaststroke kick, and they did make up a lot of ground, but Morlacki there managing to turn onto the freestyle, still holding on to the lead, and he looks commanding and in control here.
Yeah, such a powerful swimmer, Morlacki. He's relatively short. We saw him on the medal podium with his teammate Simone Barlam, the tall figure. But he's such a powerhouse, Morlacki, and he eases into the end there in 2:24.22, just 1/100th of a second slower than Lewis White in the previous heat. So Salguero Galisteo takes 2nd position. Breaststroke pulling him through. Tamas Toth in a good position. He finishes 3rd in that heat. He should qualify for the final comfortably. We'll just keep an eye, see if there are any disqualifications here. But Morlacki looking good in the head of the field. He's going to be tough to beat tonight, Liz. Great performance from the Italian.
Yeah, he just looked supreme, and we say that his breaststroke is his weakest stroke, and it is, but only because the other three he just controls so well. He's so strong, and he really does his best to limit the damage that other athletes can do to him on that breaststroke length.
Well, Morlacki bringing them home in the second heat. It was very much a faster heat than the first one. Morlacki taking that in 2:24.22 with Salguero Galisteo in 2nd, Toth in 3rd, but everyone down to 6th place in that heat will qualify for the final tonight, including the two 15-year-olds in 7th and 8th place for that final later. So an example there, but the swimmers knew what they had to do and they went out and did it. 6 swimmers from that final heat qualifying for the final tonight. Women's 200 metres individual medley. Well, the two Spanish in 4 and 5. What can you say about Gascon, Naraya Marquez Soto? It's going to be a good contest between these two. They should qualify comfortably for the final later, but you know, they have dominated the S9 class in Europe, the two Spanish swimmers there, and they are real quality, these two.
Yeah, and then Marquez Soto getting ahead again. She'll have the weaker breaststroke, so she knows she needs to try and get ahead of her compatriot Gascon down this first 100 metres of this individual medley race. Sarai Gascon, 4 brilliant strokes, was a medley swimmer when she was younger, but then stepped away from it to work on her sprint events. She's had a supreme 50 freestyle over the years, 100 metres freestyle and 100 butterfly, and it's great to see her now in back to the 200 metre individual medley.
Well, Naraya Marquez Soto, very strong butterflyer, very strong backstroker, extremely strong backstroker actually. Just fantastic technique that she has there. It's an amputee just above the knee, but really, really smooth backstroking, really steady stroke, very, very straight with the head, keeping that direction as it goes over at 1:15.50. She'll need that lead. It's just the challenge tonight for the medals in that final, because Sarai Gascon, Olympic medalist in 100 breaststroke, of course, it doesn't have a weak stroke, Sarai Gascon, a real all-rounder.
Yeah, absolutely, and as I was saying, she spent a lot of time stepping away from this event and working on those sprint events, and then I think she just felt like the 200 metres was a bit too far for the energy systems that she'd been training, but she has the potential to challenge, and these athletes, it's only 9 swimmers entered into this event, so they know again that they only need to finish in those top 2-3 spots of this heat to guarantee a place in the final and not get disqualified.
Soto is the reigning world champion. She won that title last year in Mexico. Gascon, the reigning European champion. There's Kuli of Greece. She's in 3rd place now, so in position to make that final. But the 2 Spanish swimmers just really relaxed there, the 2. We won't see that kind of freestyle tonight in the final.
No, we won't. There'll be a lot higher stroke rate, a lot more power, a lot more urgency to get to that wall down this final line.
Well, the 2 Spanish swimmers now stroking into the wall. Naraya Marquez Soto and Sarai Gascon, just making sure they're staying ahead of the Greek swimmer Femia Gekuli. Kuli's entry time was 2:54. She's improved that to 2:53. Naraya Marquez Soto comfortably winning that first heat ahead of her teammate. Good 100 metres start there for Naraya Marquez Soto. Good first 100 in this 200 IM. Maintained the lead in the breaststroke. Just great close-up shots we're getting here in Dublin. The best camera work we've seen at the major championships.
Yeah, and it's given us a real insight into how the different athletes play to their strengths and maximise their powers and minimise the limitations of their impairments.
So Naraya Marquez Soto will win that first heat of the 200 metres individual medley. Sarai Gascon of Spain in 2nd position. Femia Gekuli, she should qualify for the final for Greece. 2:53.25, an improvement on her entry time. Oh well, we do have an amended result here in the arena. Hopefully bring you that one pretty soon. There we are. Naraya Marquez Soto confirmed as 1st position for Spain, but we do have 2 disqualifications. One of them is Sarai Gascon. Well, one of the favourites out of the final as it stands. Also disqualified, Femia Gekuli from Greece. Someone's coming on to the stage now. The Irish fans out in force because Ellen Keane, the home favourite, goes in lane number 5. Next to Great Britain's teenage star, Tony Shaw. There's Tony Shaw, the Great Britain cap. There is Ellen Keane next to her. Tony Shaw's had a great week this week, Liz.
Yes, and Ellen Keane has been desperate to get on this podium for the Irish swimmers, and this might be her opportunity to break that duck. those 2 fourth positions. She'll be looking to improve on those, not get disqualified.
Well, that is one of the aims from these heats. The other one is to progress to the final this evening. They should all do that if they avoid disqualification due to what happened in that first heat. So Ellen Keane there in lane number 5, the top of those yellow lane markers. Sophia Konkoy from Hungary. She's gone out fast there. The Hungarian swimmer. Another one that we've seen over the last few years. Hungarian Sophia Konkoy just coming through now, a touch ahead of Tony Shaw. It's very close, only 5/100ths of a second. Konkoy, as I said, we've seen her at the major championships over the last few years, still only 16 years of age.
Now these Hungarian swimmers seem to be doing that to us. Similarly, Bianca Pap, 100 backstroke champion, 18 years old, and we feel like we've been talking around about her for a while. She's a very experienced athlete, and again, a great example of just how if you bring your youngsters to these competitions and get them that experience, then they're just a lot more prepared to step up and deliver when it's asked of them.
Well, Sophia Konkoy was a Paralympic medalist in butterfly, a world championship medalist in backstroke, so no surprise that she is leading the field at the halfway point. Tony Shaw, a real all-rounder, a real find for the Great Britain team. She's in second, and Ellen Keane, well, Paralympic medalist in breaststroke, so this is where Ellen Keane would expect to make inroads. She doesn't have to this morning in the heats, but in the final, you might see Ellen Keane power through in the breaststroke.
Yeah, breaststroke's one of those strokes that if you know that time is on your side, you can really stretch it out, as we can see Ellen Keane doing there in that bright costume in lane 5. But you can do that on breaststroke. You can see your competitors ahead of you, and actually you can get a really good feel for the water.
Tony Shaw's at the front, ahead of the Hungarian. Tony Shaw goes over in 209.06. Konkoy in second place, with Ellen Keane in third position. Well, Tony Shaw looks like she's stretching away. Another medal could be on the cards for Great Britain's Tony Shaw tonight. What a week she's having. She couldn't have expected to come to her first major championships for Great Britain and to be on the medal podium quite so often.
No, and this is an event that she's come into the competition ranked number 1 in Europe this year, so this would be the one that she's been hoping to dominate. She won't have it all her own way though, but she will take this heat. 2 minutes 48.88 seconds.
Well, just shy of the time in the first heat by Naraya Marquez Soto. Didn't have to be fast for these swimmers. Big cheer from the Irish fans there. Ellen Keane churching there in 2:59.29. So Tony Shaw, smile on the face of the Great Britain youngster. She swum that well alongside Sophia Konkoy of Hungary, and Hungarian, as expected, led them out in the early stages, but when it came to the breaststroke, Tony Shaw took up the running. Ellen Keane didn't have to swim fast this morning, but she'll be in the final tonight when we get these confirmed results. Here's the Hungarian going over. And we'll wait for these confirmed results as we see Tony Shaw coming into the closing stages. She should make that final tonight in second position. And the result is confirmed. We do have a disqualification. Didn't affect the top 3 places though. Shaw, Konkoy and Keane will progress to that final. So that's the last swimming action of the morning. Let's have a quick look back on what we saw earlier. Men's 200 metres individual medley saw an excellent swim at the front of the field by Israel Oliver of Spain. He took that first heat in 2:29. Hirori Sudzilov of Belarus took a big whack on the lane ropes early on, but recovered to take second heat 2:34. Should be a good contest between these two in the final. Darko Duric, also a gold medalist earlier in the week. He'll be looking to double up tonight. He looked comfortable in that first heat of the men's 200 freestyle S4. And in the second heat, well, the youngster, Ami Omer Dadon, stamped his authority in the closing stages to go ahead of Schoenmaker, qualified comfortably for that final. The 50 freestyle for the S5 was a real challenge to make it into the top 8. Bocciardo, the Italian, made sure of his place as he took the first heat. 50-year-old Stefan Fura defying his age to take the second heat, and what a swim in the third heat. It's a world record time for Antonio Fantini. He was not messing about. The 16-year-old Italian taking a European record in that heat. In the men's 50 metres backstroke S3, it was the Spanish swimmer Miguel Angel Martinez Toelo, comfortable winner of the first heat, and a real tussle in the second was won by the Italian Vincenzo Boni. Expect Boni to be a little bit faster in the final. He will start as favourite. In the 100 freestyle for the S8 class, well, Mikhail Golas from Poland had a dead heat the other day in the heats. We thought he would run for another one, but Torben Schmitke from Germany stretched away in the end to win the first heat, with Joshua Grove of Switzerland taking a very good swim for the second. Could be a close final tonight in that S8. For the women, first heat was a comfortable victory for the Italian, trying to add to her medal tally this week, Palazzo. But the world record holder, Alice Tai, will go for Great Britain, and she eased ahead of Claire Supio in the closing stages of that S8 second heat. Tai will qualify for the final. In the first heat of the men's 400 freestyle, they only had to lose one swimmer, and it was a young Portuguese swimmer, Daniel Videira, who took the win of that first heat. The second heat, well, Tixman Hulfagen from the Netherlands wasn't hanging about, blew away the cobwebs to win that one convincingly. There will be Irish presence in that final tonight as well. In the 400 freestyle S6 for women, Ellie Simmons qualified comfortably for the final, and she'll renew her rivalry with the Ukrainian Yelizaveta Mereshko, but Mereshko looked really good in qualification. Will be the favourite for that final. Another few fast swims in the men's S7. Evgeny Boadaiko, multiple medalist in this event in the past. He won the first heat, and it was a very close contest for the second, won by the Italian Bocelli ahead of the two Ukrainians, Trusov and Kavnetsaya. The women's 50 freestyle, it was a fast finish from the teenager Anna Hontar to take her away from Mexico gold medalist Sabina Weber-Treiber from Austria. And in the second heat, the favourite for this title, Denise Grahl from Germany, well, she showed no mercy for the rest of the field, getting ahead of Agnes Kramer. Denise Grahl certainly be the one to beat tonight. The first heat of the 200 metres individual medley for men. So Lewis White and Hugo Didier go head to head, with Lewis White taking it in 2:24.21. It was a much faster second heat overall, and the winner easing into the finish was Federico Morlacchi, just 1/100 behind White's time in that first heat. Should be a very interesting final. Final event we see, well, we saw Nuria Marquez Soto stroke in ahead of her teammate Sarai Gascon. Gascon disqualified after the result was confirmed, so we won't see two Spanish swimmers in that final. We will see Tony Shaw, who won the second heat, just ahead of Sevilla Conkley, and Ellen Keane of Ireland will also be there. So a nice heat session we've seen on day 5. We will be back again tonight for the final session. Please don't miss it. There'll be action all the way. So join us at 6 o'clock local time here in Dublin. We'll see you tonight.